Hey YouTube, Dan Ottawa, and it is the Master League Premier Classic and Master League Open. So I did a video this morning on Master League Premier Classic teams. If you want that, link above and in the description below. Today in this video we're talking about Master League Open. So what I normally do on this channel is I go over the top 20 rankings of Pokemon based on PVPoke, and I give you 4 team options. I had to use 4 other content creators, which I will link their videos on how they use the team in the description because I do not have the Excels for this league. But I'm not going to take too much time going over the rankings because there hasn't been a ton that has changed in these rankings. Dragonite, ever since Dragonite got superpower, it's jumped to the top spot. Lugia is just bulky. Giratina Altered is just spammy, and Giratina Origin's always on there. Yveltal, like there's a lot of like the core legendary Pokemon that are always in the top 20. Where it kind of gets interesting is the new one, and I don't even know how to pronounce this. Solgaleo? I think it's popped up recently. Again, I think it's one of those sort of rare Pokemons where you have to invest a lot of XL candies or walk to get it there. But Psychic Fangs and Iron Head, so just like a direct answer to Zacian with Iron Head. Psychic Fangs is like kind of a bait move to lower your opponent's defense. So I think some of those may be bait dependent, but it's up there. But the rest, like Zacian as a safe swap for a while. Mewtwo's always been super strong since day one. Groudon's been strong. Like these are all Pokemon that have been on this list for a while now. So what do you do with teams? So I'm gonna go over 4 teams from content creators and go over, again, link in the description for how they use it for the teams. But so this one is, I should have wrote this down. This one's Thos. So Dragonite, Zacian, Metagross, and this is when Zacians were everywhere. So you have Dragonite lead that it can still do okay against most things. You have your Metagross in the back to deal with Zacian, hopefully as a safe swap, and then your own Zacian, because for a while it was super like hard to deal with because it has quick attack, which got a buff, so it goes really fast to the moves. Close combat and play rough are pretty, or you can run wild charge too, depends how you want to run it, just kind of like nukes of moves. So it was a great safe swap. Everyone has it. There's some answers now, Metagross being the main one. Bullet Punch, Meteor Mash just deals with it. And Dragonite, again, one of the top Pokemon. Since it got superpower, you're now not as lost against like steals because you can superpower and then bail into either one of these. Probably Zacian still is the best safe swap here. And with this team, you have like Dragonite's going to be weak to Fairy as your most part, Fairy and Dragon, which you have a Fairy and a Steel in the back to deal with that, right? So it's a pretty balanced team with the Zacian safe swap in the middle. This one was Jonkus. So Jonkus tested out Glaciate Kyurem when it came out. So this was sort of an ABB style team. You try and pull out a fighter or a dragon type Pokemon to go against your Snorlax. So you leave Metagross. As long as you don't see like a Fairy or something they have a really good matchup in, you probably switch into Snorlax. Try and pull out a fighter if there is one. Try and pull out a dragon if there is one. Do okay, right? Because like Body Slam, Superpower can do okay. Coming with Metagross, kind of punish it, and then your Dragon Ice with Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, Glaciate should roam free in the back as its biggest answer taken care of. The third one I went to Boygos because I know Boygos is like the Master League specialist for his factions team. This one he was testing Zekrom, Primarina, and Rhyperior. Again, he's always gonna have a little spice. Rhyperior is not a terrible like answer because it has like Rock Wrecker for the Flyers and Surf as a quick move and Mud Slap for the Steel. So it has play, but it's kind of spicy. But Zekrom and Primarina are not spicy. They are tough. Zekrom just having the Wild Charge nuke is huge, like an electric dragon, right? So having that Dragon Breath fast move plus a Wild Charge nuke and Crunch for coverage against like your Ghost, he's a strong Pokemon. And then if you're going to be weak to Dragon in the front and Fighter in the back, Primarina as your Water Fairy, so a Fairy Pokemon that also that won't totally just get lit up by Metagross because your water will resist the steel, so you only take neutral in that situation, right? So that's why Primarina kind of jumped to the top because it's a charm user that doesn't take super effective from steel. It neutralizes it, Moonblast and Hydro Pump, 2 nuke moves which will have coverage on pretty much all the meta, right? Your Moonblast is going to cover like almost everything except for steals, and then Hydro Pump is going to cover the steals. It is basically how that works. And then your last one, this one was Homeslice. So this team, he said, got him to 3,500 ELO. So Zacian lead with Close Combat and Wild Charge, right? 2 nukes. And then you have Dialga and Yveltal. There's not much to say about this team besides just 3 super dominant Pokemon in the Open Master League, right? I think you're going to have to switch into Dialga to a certain extent, because you have like, you don't want to see a fairy in the back, right? You might want to try and pull out a fairy. Not that Dialga has a terrible matchup, because it's still half steel, so it's only neutral, but you only have the Iron Heads, and they're going to just out fairy you in the back, right? Because your Yveltal is super weak to fairy. So you may want to either throw a Close Combat or Wild Charge, or bail immediately into Dialga, get the damage there. You'll either get like something to deal with Dialga, but Dialga is so tanky and so strong in this league. Iron Head, Draco Meteor, Dragon Breath combo, bulky. Like, we know what Dialga is. Dialga's been here since season 1. And then hopefully your Yveltal will avoid the fairy and roam free, because Yveltal is a super, I actually really like running it. It's as long as you keep it away from like a fairy, it is such a strong Pokemon, because the Snarl Dark Pulses come so quick. There's so much Ghost. There's Mewtwo for Psychic, and then Focus Blast. You can one-shot a lot of these steals like Dialga and stuff like that. So it's a really strong Pokemon. Just make sure you have a couple things that can deal with fairy on your team. So that is it. Again, links in the description for those videos, specifically from those content creators, on how they run the team if you want more info. And that is it. So I will be coming out tomorrow with my first Master League Premier Classic team. So subscribe if you're new so you get that notification, and check back tomorrow for that video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.